Today I'm going to talk about my weight loss after 4 pregnancies and how I got my body back in shape. I never followed a 1200 calorie diet. I never spent hours on the treadmill or cycling because I don't like cardio and I do as little of it as possible. It's very painful. I did not want to give up the things that I love, which includes eating bread every day and drinking wine with my husband and eating popcorn with my kids. So I thought, is there a way that I can still enjoy the things that I love and lose the baby weight and get in shape? And yes, I have found a way. Hurrah! I'm gonna share with you what I do personally after having a baby and how I like to get my body back into shape and get fit and strong and healthy again. Before I get into the method that I follow and my tips, I want to share a little bit of a backstory in my life just so you can get to know me a little bit better. So I'm a full-time mom, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I have 4 kids. So my life is busy and chaotic and loud and messy, and it's awesome. But as a kid, I never really had these big dreams of being a mom one day. I don't think I really thought about it too much. I actually wanted to be an actress since I was a little girl, and I actually was a child actress, funny enough. So growing up, acting was my life, and that's all I really thought about. But once I got into high school, I started noticing that my skin was breaking out lots, so I wanted to fix that, especially wanting to continue with my acting career. So I went to the dermatologist, they gave me birth control, and yes, it worked. I had very clear skin all through high school. But with that came a weight gain. And it wasn't a lot, it was definitely a little bit, but I started to feel uncomfortable. And I think because of that, I took a dive into health and fitness and learning how I can transform my body and what methods to use that will work. I learned about strength training and I fell in love with it. Like it was a passion of mine. So that became a huge part of my life and I enjoyed going to the gym. I could do whatever I wanted. Like I had no kids, I had no real responsibilities. So I loved going to the gym and working out. So that was the beginning of my passion for health and fitness. And then after high school, I was no longer doing the acting thing. I went to college for health and fitness and I studied that for a little bit. And I was also a personal trainer. I got married and I got pregnant with my daughter, my first child. I just soaked up that pregnancy. I ate whatever I craved. I didn't really exercise at all. I took a lot of naps, which was wonderful. I stopped going to the gym and yeah, but I did always have this desire within me to be fit and to be healthy. So that was always my mindset. So after I had my first baby, I worked really hard to get back into shape again. And I was able to do that, but then I got pregnant again. Times that by 4, you know? If I'm being honest, when I found out I was pregnant with my 4th baby, it was quite a shock. And I just figured, you know, this is it. Like my body can't take anymore. Like I had stretch marks and varicose veins on my legs, and I just figured, you know what, I don't think it's possible to get back to where I was ever again. So all of that is to say, I love health and fitness and I have a passion for it. And I also love being a mom and I have a passion for being a mom. And you don't have to choose like one over the other. You can be a healthy and fit mom and you can have lots of kids and you can also be a great mom at the same time. So that was kind of something that I struggled with that I had to overcome. It's definitely harder as a mom trying to lose weight and to get fit. Like I struggle with guilt, taking that time for myself. I struggle with making the time and prioritizing that time for myself. Another struggle is not knowing what to do. Like there's so many things out there, it's overwhelming. Like what is the best method? And the last struggle that a mom deals with, I think, is just consistency. Like doing the good thing again and again and again, because it's so easy to just start something but not continue doing it. And I think something to keep in mind is that it's not a selfish thing. It's actually yes, it's going to benefit you, but it's also going to overflow into your family life as well if you feel better about yourself and you take that time for yourself. So now I'm going to share what I did to get back into shape after having 4 babies and how I lost the baby weight. So the first thing I did was I upped my protein and I started eating a high protein diet. I'm a person that just loves food, okay? So if somebody tells me I have to give up my favorite food so that I can lose weight, it's probably not gonna last for me because I just love it too much. I wanted to do something that was realistic for me and something that I could maintain long term. So I don't see my future without eating bread. So that's like the no carb thing, that's just not an option for me. But I can easily eat more protein. And by eating a high protein diet, that means I'm still gonna be able to eat the things that I love. I'm just not gonna be as hungry for them. I find it's harder to take things away. Like if someone tells me I can't have something, I just want it even more. So if that's not even a thought in my mind and I just have to focus on adding more protein, then that's like, yeah, that's like a challenge. Like I can do that. And then once you reach your protein goal, all the rest of your space in your belly can be filled with, you know, the things that you enjoy or whatever you feel like, but you're probably not gonna have as much space in your belly, at least I don't, for those foods now. There's a lot of information out there telling you how much protein you should consume, but I'm just gonna share with you what I personally do. I aim for my ideal body weight in grams of protein. So for me, that's between 120 and 130 grams of protein in a day. And I don't always track that, but if you spend like a few days tracking, you'll get a general idea of how much protein you need to eat. And I just focus on, with every meal and every snack, when I'm hungry, okay, what is my lean protein going to be? And that's a key component I should probably mention, focusing on lean protein rather than just protein in general. So for instance, for breakfast, I will have a few eggs along with a bunch of egg whites and like turkey bacon and my sourdough bread. So I'm having like a really substantial breakfast. Whereas before, when I wasn't eating high protein, I would have 2 eggs and maybe 2 slices of bread. And the thing about protein is, as your body's digesting it, it actually has to work harder than it would for digesting a fat or a carb. So when you're digesting a protein, you're actually burning 30% of the calories that you consume just in the digestion alone. So that's a bonus. And in eating a high protein diet, it also helps your body to build more muscle. So that is something that I want and desire. But just something to keep in mind, even though protein does help with muscle does not grow without resistance training. So that leads me to my next point. So I don't really enjoy going for really long runs. I don't mind doing like a 20-minute run sometimes, but it's definitely not part of my daily exercise routine. I limit the cardio. I just focus on building muscle. And if you're just starting out with a workout program, especially after having a baby, you have to go really easy because your body is still, it's kind of loose in the joints, and you want to make sure you have the go ahead from your doctor and you feel good enough. Like I basically just waited till I felt ready and I knew that my body was okay with me starting to lift weights. And then gradually over time, you want to increase the weights and you want to get stronger. I actually found a program on YouTube that I loved and that I followed for a while. And then when I got bored of that, I just did my own thing. But the main thing here is that I just prioritized strength training and I focused on putting on as much muscle as I possibly could because I knew that it would boost my metabolism and it would change my body composition so that I wasn't just shrinking and getting smaller and becoming a smaller version of myself. I was actually changing the way that my body looked, and it was allowing me to eat more calories to maintain my current weight, if that makes sense. Your body requires more calories when you have more muscle. So if I could put on more muscle, that means that I could eat more food and enjoy more things while still staying smaller, right? And just a quick tip when it comes to making that time enjoyable. For me, I save my kids' TV time for when I'm exercising so that I can just be in my own space and I don't have to worry about, lifting weights around the kids or entertaining the kids. I let them watch TV and I put in my headphones and I'll put on music that I love, or sometimes I'll listen to a really good podcast. I just make that time something that I look forward to, so that going to the gym in my basement here, it's not like a chore, it's actually something that I'm excited to do. And the last thing that helped me to lose weight after pregnancy was just being consistent. And I'm just gonna share a funny story. It's off topic right now, but I will bring it back to this. So growing up, I went to church, and I remember in Sunday school, we had these bracelets and we would wear them, and on the bracelet it would say WWJD. And if you're a church-going person, you would know what that stands for. But if you don't know what it means, it stands for what would Jesus do? So the point is, you wear the bracelet and you think about what Jesus would do when you're out and about in the world. I kind of took that concept and brought that into my health and fitness choices on a day-to-day basis. Obviously not what would Jesus do, but instead of wearing the WWJD bracelet, which, that's still a bracelet I wear, but I wear another bracelet that's what would insert the name of the fitness person that you look up to and admire. What would this person do? I would make my decision based on that rather than what I felt. Does that make sense? I hope I don't sound like a crazy person right now, but okay, so that about sums it up. That's how I lost the weight in a nutshell. And if you're not exactly sure what food to buy at the grocery store or what exercises to do, what's the right thing, I recommend that you hit the subscribe button and like this video, or leave a comment below and ask me a specific question, because I would love to post more videos and focus in on some of those specific things if that would be helpful for you. And my sweet husband just made me my favorite bedtime snack, which is plain Greek yogurt with granola and blueberries. So good.